Hi. Hi. Welcome to my political show. Elmo, Kavindu, Gunaratna, Political Times. Before start the show, I want to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now let's get started. Now, as you all know, today on the show, we're going to talk about major political news from the United States, about infighting between the Democrats and why it's not reasonable and why it's wrong to question General Milley. Things like that. So now let's get started. And of course, the threat from China. So now let's get started. Now, some terms, politics is where other politicians take advantage of a small issue and try to make it look bigger, right? That's how politics work. If you are the governing party, if you're the opposition, try to challenge the governing party. And that's what the Republicans are trying to do. Now, in a recent hearing, in a Senate hearing, Republican senators have asked for the resignation of General Milley over his decision and over his conversation with the Chinese counterpart during the last days of the Trump administration. Now, I want to be clear on this. General Milley did not do an act of treason. He didn't do that. He just simply called the Chinese counterpart and calmed down a situation. Since the Trump administration and the Chinese government had rising tensions and concerning the mental condition of Donald Trump, it was pretty obvious that Donald Trump could have done something very, very bad. In fact, General Milley, even Nancy, even the Democrats' majority in the House, even she was extremely concerned that Donald Trump would start a nuclear war because of his mental condition. And General Milley agreed that Donald Trump was indeed not doing mentally fit at the moment. He admitted that he was not mentally fit. In a situation like that, what should a general do? Should the general let the commander of chief go crazy and start a nuclear war? No. If Donald Trump started a nuclear war, I won't be making this video right now to all of you right now. I would be dead at this point. We would be dead. The world is over. Massive mushroom cloud. We are dead. And Donald Trump would be in a bunker governing the remaining part. That's how it is. So that's what General Milley is prevented from happening. And questioning his patriotism is not fair at all. That's the fact. That's the reality up front about that. And also they questioned General Milley about the situation, why the withdrawal in Afghanistan went so wrong. Look, end of the day, I keep thinking, why is this Afghan conversation is still happening? I thought at this point everyone understood withdrawing from a war is very, very messy. It's never a smooth transition from saying like, I'm going to war, but coming out is easy. No, going into war is easy, but coming out of a war is the most difficult part. Now, General Milley was very clear. Now, General Milley said mistakes were happened, however, there's no need for resignation. That's a fact. There's no need to again. That's a general fact here. Now, of course, remember President Joe Biden also, now there was a conversation about, President Joe Biden said that he was told there was no need to keep any further 2,500 troops in Afghanistan. The thing is, now Joe Biden said, of course, he wasn't told. Now General Milley said, yes, there was a conversation about it. This is the thing. I don't really care about the small troops because, let's think this through politically or in a military form. 2,500 troops can't keep a country away from the hands of the Taliban. The only way the United States could have kept the Taliban out of Afghanistan was to start another full-scale war, sending hundreds of troops, do the damn thing again, which President Joe Biden was not prepared to do, and I understand why. We have been in war for more than 20 years in Afghanistan. And there was another question whether if the Afghan government troops fought like they should have done, would the Taliban still took power? The answer was no. The Taliban would have not taken power if the Afghan forces fought like they should, but they didn't fight for their country. They betrayed their country. And I believe that there was corruption in Afghanistan. But if you are a soldier who's fighting for your country, do you want your country to go to the hands of the Taliban? No. But unfortunately, soldiers in Afghanistan had no will to fight. The lack of will to fight is the reason everything happened. The United States can't keep sending more troops to Afghanistan or any country of invasion at this point. because it's time the United States take it back, start rethinking their strategy of how to deal with foreign policy when it comes to the Middle East, how they deal with the Middle East. Now they have over the horizons ability. Now recent times a drone strike have unfortunately killed children and a family now which the United States government has accepted responsibility, but they claimed that the drone strike is a success. Now I'll be honest, I am not a fan of drone strikes. I believe there's nothing, drone strikes are controlled by computers. There is no human touch to it, which means it goes on a set course, and that's unfortunately, I don't like that computers taking charge of war. However, if you are no longer in a country and you want intelligence and taking down targets, I believe there's no other choice. So because of that, I believe the United States have to figure out to do their job better. That's a fact. So moving on from that, let's talk about the big question. Now, moving on from that, let's talk about what's happening between the Democrats, the in-house fighting between the Democrats. Now, there are two categories. For my local Sri Lankan viewers, there are progressives and there are moderates. The moderates are the establishments and the progressives are the establishment who wants to get things done. Now, the progressives didn't have their voice for a long time because, well, the progressives' needs are just simply unreal sometimes. That's a fact. But at the moment, I agree with the progressives. Now there are two infrastructure bills to focus on. Now there's a $1 trillion plus trillion dollar infrastructure bill and a $3.6 trillion which focuses on increasing the social blanket, giving tax benefits for parents, things like that. Now, the second bill is more about helping every aspect of family life. More tax, cutting taxes, things like that, tax benefits for the middle class, things like that. Now, I want that bill in commotion, and which also includes EV revolution, transition for electrification more easier with the infrastructure development. I want that bill to go through the Senate rather than the $1.3 trillion bill, because that bill is strictly normal infrastructure. But this bill will make a difference in the lives of every person in the United States, and this will help the Democrats in the midterms significantly. That's the reality. But the moderates claim the price tag is too big, but they also don't have a point. You see, the progressives are simply asking from the moderates is, tell us what you want, tell your price tag, tell what you want. At the moment, the moderates are not telling the progressives what they want. As they are just keep saying, we won't vote for this because it's just we have not decided, it's too expensive. Kirsten Sinema and Senator Manchin are the two problems in this issue. These two are making a small thing into a big issue. Why can't they tell President Biden or the progressives what they want? Because in-house fighting is not going to help them in the midterms in 2022. That's a fact. Because there is no better chance than now to beat the Republicans in the midterms, beat the historical odds than now. If they waste this chance, then the Democrats don't deserve to win in 2024. Because this is the best chance you got to put your authority over the Republicans. That's a fact. That's a fact. So moving on from that, Democrats just wasting a chance they have in their hands, let's talk about Donald Trump. In a recent poll, it's claimed that Donald Trump has a 47% chance of victory over Joe Biden's 46% in 2024. I want to be clear, you can't judge head-to-head polls just after a year during the first year of a presidency. During the first year of a presidency, for any president, things are very hard to get done. It's the very nervous times. The senators, the House, the Senate and the House are a bit cautious. Things are not getting done. The nominations are still getting through. So I am not going to judge the winner of 2024 right now. I think we should start thinking the winner of 2024 post the 2022 midterms. After that, we should have the conversation about who's winning in 2024. And also, I don't think there is no in God's hell way that Donald Trump is winning in 2024. And I don't think even Donald Trump is healthy enough to make it 2024. But he will keep telling people he will, and he will keep getting funds and donations. He will keep doing it. He will keep doing racism. He will keep spreading racism as he's doing right now. There's no question about it. It's simple as that. So if there's anyone who's scared of Donald Trump winning again, I can assure you 90% Donald Trump is not going to win in 2024. However, there is a 10% chance he could. This is Donald Trump who won in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. So you can't rule the man out. So that's a fact. So on this note, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for joining me on this show.